Welcome back to another episode of Hubler Automotive Group Coach's Corner. I'm your host, as always, Drew Spirley, and normally my co-host Zach Reese would be here, but he's not here today, so I might have an upgrade. Chase Stanger's here with me today.
Thanks for having me on here.
Yep, Chase, thanks for coming on. And today we are joined with Franklin's High School Athletic Director, Mr. Bill Doty. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. And as we were talking before the show, we said it was a great fall season, as we're doing a fall season recap today. All sports did a very great job. Many great things happened. And let's just start off with girls golf. We had a freshman go to the state meet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had a really good year. Give me a rundown of what happened there.
Yeah, so they were conference champions as well. Really high quality golf for the Lady Cubs this year. As you said, Lexi Ray was all state, finished sixth in the state meet. Was also county player of the year. So we had, I think we had 4 all conference players that scored for us, and just a great run for them. And I expect the same kind of things for them next year as well. So looking forward to that. And that's why I brought my cheat sheet, so I didn't leave anybody out. So we've got a lot of, like you said, one of the best fall seasons we've had from top to bottom, all the way, from all the sports. So a very competitive season all the way around.
Moving on to the next sport, I know you mentioned girls volleyball.
Yeah,
definitely had a pretty good year, especially because they lost a bunch of the older kind of veteran leaders of the group, and they're a pretty young core. They battled through a few injuries, but tell us how that season went.
Yeah. It was a season of runner-ups, and that's what Coach Carlson had talked about to the girls. I know is kind of the end-of-season meeting, and we had talked about that conference runner-up. They were 6-1 in the conference behind Perry Meridian, who was undefeated. County runner-up, we lost to Center Grove in the county tournament, although we had beaten Center Grove twice in the season before that. Really felt like we were right there and should have won the county. And then sectional runner-up after being up 2 sets to none, down to at Columbus East at their place, who and they're one of the top teams in the state. We really felt like that one slipped away from us. Kennedy getting hurt didn't. Obviously that was a huge blow to the team. So, but yeah, just an overall, they were 19-6 on the season, which is a big improvement from a year ago. So, and 2 of those girls, the 2 seniors, Emily Rector and Ava Pinnick, Lexi Ray's sister, Ava Pinnick. They were both academic All-State, so kudos to those 2 as well. So yeah, expecting big things again for them next year.
Yeah.
Kind of talking about runner-ups, the boys tennis team kind of had a transitional year before this last year. They lost a good amount of seniors, had many people step up, and they finished sectional runner-ups too.
They were, and they've continued to improve over the last 2 or 3 years. Rusty Hughes is our coach, and he does a great job with those guys. The numbers are strong, getting kids out. We had 3 kids that were all conference, and their record was much improved over last year, and they were sectional runner-up as well. And I think they were 3rd in conference. So that much improvement over the last few years. Yeah.
I'd like to talk about the soccer teams as kind of like a whole, because they play at the same time and stuff. So the girls didn't have the season they necessarily expected nor wanted, but they're a young team. They got a lot of things coming for them.
Right. The
boys, on the other hand, had an insane season. They were really good, definitely met their expectations, exceeded them even. How would you say that went for us this year?
Yeah, girls soccer, it was kind of a heartbreak season, because when you look at it, they could have very easily been 5-2 in the conference. And they played teams to a tie at the end of the game, and then went to the tiebreaker, which is overtime minutes, and then eventually went to PKs, and we lost some games in PKs. Just a tough way to go. And so while their record really doesn't show how competitive they were in our conference, which in our conference is really good. And then the boys side, 13-2 overall record, which is, I think, is second best for the boys program in school history. And they lost in the sectional to the eventual state finalist, Columbus North. Just really felt like this was a year to do something special. And that team is a young team, and so really feel like they can get right back there next year as well. They were 6-1 in the conference as well, runner-up. So. runner-up seems to be the theme for this fall, but that's what we talked about. Our conference is really strong. All of our sectionals are really strong in every sport, and so when you say runner-up, you think, gosh, second place, but just to get there, when we talk about football here in a little bit, in our conference, we had 6 teams out of our conference in football make it to sectional finals. Yeah. So that really says a lot about our conference as a whole. So,
kind of, you're speaking about football, kind of shifting the view to outside with soccer. Mm-hmm. Both our boys and girls cross country teams, one sectional, made out of regional, and advanced to the semi-state meet. Those didn't quite go how they planned when we had Mr. Jeff Powers and Roy Lane on here. But kind of give me a rundown on those seasons.
Yeah, there again, we host a lot of meets out here at the end of the season, kind of our championship season, if you will. It starts with county, then or starts with conference, then county, and then sectional and regional. And we host those out here, and it is. I think you heard Ray talk about it, Coach Lane talk about it a little bit. It benefits our kids, if they know the course very well, and but at the same time, I think he had said on your show that I think the girls and boys both like to eventually get away from here and run somewhere different. And they did perform well at Shelbyville at that course in the semi-state. Had a few kids running some really good times, just really missed advancing to the state finals. So they're young. Both teams really feel like they can get back to the semi-state again next year and then maybe even further. So both had a really competitive season.
Yeah, and going into talking about probably the most anticipated season this year, our football season, had that our senior class grew up not losing very many games. I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't lose a game up until high school. Talk about how that season went for us.
Yeah, it finished 8-3 overall, 7-2 in the conference, and that's why I was talking about that conference. You look at that, six of those 8 teams were in sectional championship games. The HCC, all those teams on the north side, those 6A schools, the MIC, all those schools, those 2 conferences in our state really probably separate themselves from everybody else when it comes to football and a lot of other sports. But you feel like the Mid-State Conference is really right there in that top tier of conferences in the state, especially with football. So to do what that group did, the seniors and obviously some underclassmen too. I mean, they had some good years recently, as you know. It just, the leadership, I think, is what we really saw, what I saw on the field from the senior group, and that really, I think, there was never a quit, never die attitude, and that really set them apart. So. You enjoyed every game, Chase.
I loved it.
I loved watching you in the stands and getting the Blue Crew going, and I really enjoyed every Friday night out there. We had great weather, always a fun atmosphere, and really fun football to watch on the field. So I know it didn't end the way we thought it would, but when you look at the state finals or the sectional that we were in, Whiteland, obviously one of the top teams in the state in 5A. A lot of people across the state felt like whoever came out of our sectional really probably had a leg up on everybody in the south side of this bracket to make it to Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah,
and I really felt I think that is going to hold true. I think you'll probably see Whiteland there, and if we would have held it, made some noise in that, I think we were probably poised to make it to Lucas Oil. So. Again, didn't end the way we wanted to. I know everybody's is very disappointed in it, but still reason to hold your heads high.
Definitely.
For sure. So.
Kind of like you said, Chase, a great leader of the Blue Crew. We have a great Blue Crew and a great fan base, and they travel well and show up to everything. Kind of tell me what that means is not only as an athletic director, but to the teams, what it means to have such a great traveling fan base and especially a great Blue Crew behind your back every week.
Yeah, well, Chase probably knows this better than anybody. We always talk about sportsmanship, and I address them before every game, like, hey, let's remember we're cheering in a positive way for our kids, and that's the one thing that I've really noticed this year with our Blue Crew is how positive they are when you guys are on the field or on the court, whatever it may be. I think you guys can probably feel that energy when you're out there. Our kids, our coaches feel it. Without that, things are, it kind of can seem dead a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, anytime you increase the atmosphere and the electricity in the air, if you will, I think it probably improves your how things go on the field for you. With the Blue Crew this year, they've been fantastic. So and I think you probably see it around the school as well. It just makes everything a little bit brighter at the school and how kids are engaged in school and in the sports. So
yeah, I agree.
Fun.
I agree. It's been a pretty good year, I'd say, for the Blue Crew. And not done yet. We got a lot more sports coming, but definitely we have to give our thanks to you for allowing us to do the things that we do, and we really appreciate you for that.
Well, hey, my pleasure.
Yeah,
glad you worked.
Mr. Doty, thank you for coming on. Obviously, best of luck to the winter sports as we have both boys and girls basketball. Actually, a new thing, boys and girls wrestling, and then the swimming and diving teams go into their fall season. So best of luck to all of them. Chase, thank you for being on here.
Thank you for having me, man.
One other sport we forgot for the fall, and at a sectional champion was unified flag football. They did.
No, we forgot about that.
I know, and it's all right. So kudos to Coach Leonard and his crew, and they were sectional champions over at Mooresville. Obviously, fell to eventual state champion Brownsburg in that regional. So they had a great season as well. So yeah. Sorry, I needed to get that plug in.
We were just on the topic of second places, and they were the ones that didn't. So
we saved the best for last.
Yep.
We had Coach Leonard on here for a very good episode. Great dude, great team.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them. But Chase, thank you. Mr. Doty, thank you. And that was another episode of Hubler Automotive Group Coach's Corner.
Hubler is proud to be the official sponsor of Franklin Athletics. Score massive savings on all your favorite brands. Plus, get our 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. For all auto needs, just click drivehubler.com. Let's go, Grizzly Cubs!